Imagine waking up, skipping breakfast, walking outside, and just standing in the sun for 10 minutes. And that's it. That's your whole meal. No eggs, no coffee, no scrambling to find something to eat. Just you, sunlight, and a slow, satisfied glow. Sounds amazing, right? Well, what if humans actually could photosynthesize like plants? What if, buried somewhere in our evolutionary history, we had taken a completely different turn? Buckle up, because we're about to go deep into the science of why this would be the most transformative and, honestly, deeply weird superpower a human could have. First, let's make sure we're on the same page. Photosynthesis is the process plants use to turn sunlight into food. They take in carbon dioxide from the air, suck up water through their roots, and using the energy from sunlight, they convert all of that into glucose, basically plant sugar, and release oxygen as a byproduct. It's elegant, it's ancient, and it has been powering almost all life on Earth for about 3 billion years. Now, humans are animals. We get our energy by eating food. Plants, other animals, things that were once alive. We burn calories. We need to eat or we die. That's the deal we made with evolution. But what if that deal had gone differently? What if, somewhere along the way, our skin had developed the ability to harness sunlight directly? What would that actually look like? Here's where it gets immediately awkward. To photosynthesize, you need chlorophyll. That's the green pigment in plants that actually absorbs sunlight. And here's the thing about chlorophyll. It makes things green, really green. So if you wanted to photosynthesize effectively, your skin would need to be packed with chlorophyll, which means you'd be green. Not a little green. Not I had too many green smoothies green. We're talking full Shrek, deep forest green, slightly unsettling green. Now, to be fair, some scientists have speculated that human skin could theoretically host chloroplasts, the tiny organelles in plant cells that do the actual photosynthesis work. Our skin cells are alive. They're constantly exposed to sunlight. In theory, the machinery could fit. But the color thing is non-negotiable. You'd be green. Forever. Sorry. Okay, green skin aside, would it even produce enough energy? Here's where the math gets humbling. The average human needs about 2,000 calories a day to survive. That's a lot of energy. Plants can get away with photosynthesis because they have a massive surface area. Think about all those leaves, and they don't move around much. A tree just stands there. It doesn't run to the store, it doesn't have a commute. Humans have about 1.7 square meters of skin. That sounds like a lot, but it really isn't when you're trying to power a body that walks, talks, thinks, and stress eats at 11 p.m. Scientists have actually run the numbers on this. Under ideal sunlight conditions, perfectly clear sky, sun directly overhead, maximum exposure, a human-sized photosynthesizer would produce somewhere between 150 and 400 calories per day. That's it. That's barely a sandwich. You'd need to lie completely naked in direct sunlight for the entire day just to get a fraction of your daily energy needs, which, aside from being extremely uncomfortable, is also a great way to get sunburned. So in reality, photosynthetic humans would still have to eat a lot. You'd just also be green and very motivated to take lunch breaks outside. Here's the part that's actually kind of beautiful. Photosynthesis produces oxygen as a waste product. Plants breathe in CO2 and exhale oxygen, which is essentially the entire reason Earth has breathable air. Now imagine if humans photosynthesized. Every time you sat outside on a sunny day, you'd be releasing little puffs of oxygen into the air. You wouldn't just be consuming the environment, you'd be giving something back. Imagine sitting in a park, eyes closed, sunbathing, and literally improving air quality for everyone around you. That's a genuinely wholesome thought. You'd be like a very slow, very confused tree. Let's think about what this would actually do to human civilization.
If photosynthesis were part of our biology, the entire history of the world changes. Agriculture? Way less critical. You'd still need some food, but the desperate need to farm, store, and trade calories would be reduced. Wars fought over farmland? Famines? Potentially a lot rarer. Architecture? Every building would need massive windows. Every office would have a solarium. Cities would be designed around maximizing sunlight exposure. Does it get good sun would be the most important question in real estate, even though it is already. And vacations? People wouldn't just go to the beach to relax, they'd go to recharge, literally. A week in the tropics wouldn't just be a treat, it'd be a health necessity. Doctors would prescribe sunshine. Take 2 hours in direct light and call me in the morning. But here's the twist that will really mess with your head. Photosynthesis is actually not that efficient. Plants only convert about 1 to 2% of the sunlight that hit them into usable energy. The best solar panels humans have made hit around 22% efficiency. In other words, plants are terrible at photosynthesis, and we're asking to be worse at it. Evolution, for all its genius, never gave us chloroplasts because it found a better solution: eating other things that already converted sunlight into energy. We outsourced our photosynthesis to plants and animals, and we got to use our energy for bigger brains, complex tools, and eventually the internet. So the big reveal? Photosynthetic humans probably wouldn't be superhuman. We'd be slower, hungrier than we expected, extremely green, and completely dependent on weather forecasts. You'd constantly be checking if it was going to be sunny on Tuesday. A cloudy week in Seattle wouldn't just be depressing, it'd be a medical crisis. And somehow, in that image, a green, calorie-starved human squinting at a weather app, I feel like we found something very real about what it means to be alive on this planet. So, what does all of this tell us? Evolution doesn't always give us the coolest superpower. Sometimes it gives us the most practical one. Our bodies chose to eat because eating works better than standing in the sun. Plants got photosynthesis, we got metabolism, digestion, and drive-thrus. But maybe the coolest takeaway is this: every piece of food you eat is, ultimately, sunlight. The bread, the burger, the salad, all of it traces back to a plant that caught a photon billions of years ago. You're already running on solar power. You've just added a few extra steps. So, the next time you eat lunch outside, think about it. You and that tree next to you, you're both doing the same thing, just in very different ways. If your brain is doing that thing where it can't stop imagining green humans lying in parking lots trying to photosynthesize, welcome to the club. Drop a comment below. If you could photosynthesize, what's the first food you'd give up eating? My vote is kale. Ironic, I know. If you enjoyed this one, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And subscribe if you want more what-ifs that start fun and end with an existential crisis. We drop a new one every week. See you in the next one. Don't forget to go outside today, just in case.